Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI4 as we're playing as Germany. Alright, so we're going to start the episode by taking a look at a couple things that I did before we started here. First of all, we got the carriers designed here for their planes, which I didn't do last episode. And we're going to do 30 fighters and 50 naval bombers. So the 20 new planes they have, 10 will go towards each of these. And that's because we will be fighting against, both the British and the Japanese, who will have carriers of their own, and we'll have to deal with land-based planes. So therefore, I think having more fighters would be useful than what we had in our older model, which I think is 20 fighters and 40 naval bombers. So that's been done. Also, I went ahead and got all of our generals assigned. So here in the Red Army, we have Rommel, just until we have a secondary tank army, since as of right now we only have one, and I'm putting Guderian in charge of that one. So Rommel, I want to have him somewhere. So for right now, he's over here. In the Blue Army, we got Manstein. So he'll be the one that's going to be invading the Soviets. And he'll be getting helped by Hell here, who, which is Ernst Eberhard Hell. The reason why we put him in charge here is because he's got a rare trait, the Winter Specialist. So winter attrition negative 50%. He also has the engineer trait, another really good one for invading the Soviets. So he's going to be helping out Manstein. And then in the Purple Army, which will be invading into Italy, again, kind of basing this, I know he's not quite as good as some of the other guys we have available. See, both of these two are level 3. But the key here is the engineer trait, which I really like. The plus 5% attack cross river. I know it's not much, but rivers are difficult to attack cross, and so that's quite helpful. And then fort attack is helpful too, though we typically avoid trying to attack into forts. And I think one of these guys has, yeah, it's him. He has another trait he can get. So he can get because he has the engineer, he can get either either the Fortress Buster or Scavenger. We're gonna go with Fortress Buster. That's another 15% on the attack of fortification. So that's a 25% attack against forts. And there's not really any forts here in Italy, with the exception up against the French border, if they built them. Yeah, they have them all over here. So we probably won't need the fort bonus here, but I'm sure we'll use it in one of the other conflicts. All right, so I think it's good to go. I think that's the only thing we need to do. So let's go and let it play. As I do expect we'll probably join the conflict this episode. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see how far we get here and what exactly happens with the world. Again, I really would like to wait until China capitulates, which they're pretty close to doing. So we'll see what happens there, guys. I think it would be nice if they did, though. So we have some civilian factories and military factories, because we just used the civilian factories to produce those military factories. So what else do we still need to get? We don't have the next level of radar just yet. So I guess it's just dockyards and factories. I think we're gonna get more dockyards, guys. Let's get at least 2 more here, and then we'll build military factories as usual. So let's go. These are all 60%. That's the reason why we haven't been building there. So let's go with the 70%. And also we need to get that military factory assigned, or 2 military factories assigned. So let's just take a look, see what all we need. So we could put these into the carrier planes. But I always end up with like a lot of extra carrier planes, so I don't think we're going to do that. You can see that we are short on artillery. We have 8 factories going towards that, and we're going to need more if we want to build these. So let's put them, I think we're going to put them both into artillery here. We can change up a division design, and there's a lot to be changed, guys. So let's go ahead and try and finish up these guys so that we can train them. We wanted to get, I think, just infantry. Yeah, more infantry here. We'll get them up to the full 40 combat width. Let's go ahead and save that. And that's going to require us to train everybody. That's the main reason why I wanted to get that done, is so that we can train it. New Zealand, join the Commonwealth. Okay, that's strange. But yeah, once we get the manpower out to these guys, we'll need to get them training. Okay, because they have the Civil War here. Got it. So the Anglo-Italian Pact got the Imperialists, and because the Commonwealth's at war with the fascist, that makes sense. New Zealand joined them. Okay, that's fine. Poland is really getting pushed back here. Romania is holding strong because they got the river there, helping them out. I don't know if they built the forts up here yet, and they did not. So they don't have any forts or anything. I'm guessing the Soviets demanded Bessarabia, and they said no, and that's how Romania got pulled into the overall conflict, and then thus they joined the fascist faction because of that. So let's get this dockyard assigned. Oh, we finished building those cruisers. Okay, so we already know what we're going to put those on too, is the attack cruisers. We're going to need to get the next model here. So this is the 1936 model. I'm guessing the 1940 model's here. Yeah, so we're going to need to make use of this and go ahead and design the attack cruisers. All right, we got them named. Let's go ahead and get them all their stuff. So send the rapid fire guns here. And we're going to want to put the light cruiser battery on there. Let's get the better anti-air. We'll keep them in the fire control systems and then give them the radar. They don't need a sonar because attack cruisers we don't use for the fighting the submarines. We'll get that dual purpose, super helpful, and the cruiser armor. All right, guys, so this is going to be the design for the attack cruiser 3A. Their speed is a little bit low for a light cruiser, but remember the speed of the fleet is based off the slowest ship. So anytime they're with the the bigger ships, the battleships, the carriers, they're going to be slowed down anyways. But the max speed does have other benefits. So it's not just the actual speed of the fleet as it moves. So you probably want the speed a little bit higher for a light cruiser. But again, this is going to be our bigger light cruiser with the big guns on it. Lots of big guns, guys. So we actually have. I might change it up just a little bit because we do have 3 guns on here. So we could change one of them. But you know what? I don't think there's anything that I want from either of these, because the only thing I could really see changing is going over to another one of the dual purpose guns, which really isn't an option unless you wanted to go for these dual purpose guns, which just aren't as good, and they also reduce your piercing. They would get us up some and increase that anti-air some, so we could better defend ourselves. But yeah, it does tick down the light attack a bit and the piercing, so I don't know if that's worth it. Getting the 35 kilometers for speed, I guess that might be worth it. Let me just see if there's any other options here, because again, I would really prefer to have the better dual purpose, but yeah, I don't think we can get that on any of these slots here. All of these are restricted to this dual purpose, which is not as good as this dual purpose. This dual purpose is much better. Yeah, I suppose we could do that. I guess we will. We'll get their speed up some, guys. Let's go ahead and go with the dual purpose here. Again, it's going to decrease the piercing some, so they won't be as good at attacking the light cruisers. But that's fine. So this is how it will look, essentially. And then we get up that speed up to the 35 kilometers at the very least. So that's a little bit better. Production will also be cheaper, I think. Yeah, it should be much cheaper. Then I guess we just look at it here. You see the production cost is actually the same. Interesting. And you're not getting that HP bonus. Yeah, I mean, you're just losing so much just for a little bit of speed. You get a little bit more anti-air. You know what, guys? I feel like it's worth it for the speed. So yeah, let's stick with that. We'll stick with light cruiser battery. Because yeah, you're losing the HP too. And the piercing. So, and of course the light attack. I just don't think it's worth it. So we're going to keep it like this, guys. So we'll have the 3 guns. We have the torpedoes. And then we have 1 dual purpose. And we could change these torpedoes up to another dual purpose, and you can see what that effects would be. It'd slow it down even more, but you get the better anti-air, the better light attack. But I think having some torpedoes is useful for an attack cruiser. So yeah, this is how it'll look. Very heavy light attack, guys. That's going to be their job, though. Their job is to attack the screens of the enemy ships. So yeah, let's go ahead and decommission the attack cruisers, and we'll also... I will wait to decommission those since we're not ready just yet. So let's go and put these up here and get them building. We're going to want to get probably 8 dockyards going towards that. Yeah, that looks good. So as we build dockyards, we'll eventually get 1 more for there. Let's go and make sure that they are deploying over here. We could also change our deployment over to this one here or that one there. Maybe that one would be better, so we're not trying to... yeah, because we could have trouble against the British fleet here. So let's go and change all of our ships to move over to here instead. And we'll change the ones that are currently over here as well. We'll get them moving over to this dockyard. Since it's the same size. Actually, the real reason why we're using this one is because it's the bigger one. Let's go and place the new attack cruisers over here so they can train up. And still training that battleship. Let's go and get all these guys moving over to here. And I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all we need to do. Okay. We have some military factories. Let's go and make use of those. Might want to assign a few of these just so we don't have to keep messing with it. Again, it's mostly artillery that we need here. Anti-tanks, looks like we're in the positive here, so I think we're good on that front. Yeah, let's go ahead and get these assigned to the artillery, because that's what we're most short on. Maybe get one more going to the infantry equipment as well. And then maybe more light. Well, we have 16 going here, so that's really not bad. Probably more planes then in that case. Yeah, get more planes here, guys. I think that'd be useful. Maybe more tactical bombers. And we could build more of those if we get down that far. I always find myself having like plenty of these though, but yeah, we'll go ahead and have 2 factories assigned to that as well. So that should keep, so we don't have to keep popping in here to look at the military factory situation. Norway does not have as many resources to trade anymore, so we'll stop trading with them. Try and find somebody else to trade with. We could trade with the United States if need be. We'll see if there's anybody else though. It looks like that's a no. Okay, so yeah, we'll just trade with the US for our needs here. We're still going to have needs though because we stopped trading with Norway. As for our steel needs, it's probably better just to build the infrastructure up on that front. We could trade temporarily with like Sweden. They always have lots of resources to trade for. We're just going to trade for 2 though. And can we get enough? Not quite. Alright, so instead we'll trade with, kind of look at who might be an option over here. I guess we can trade with them. 1 factory worth. That's that Serbia puppet in Montenegro. So yeah, we're going to build up the infrastructure here to get more steel, since that's typically the best way to do it as the Germans. So we could build it there. We also need to build Brandenburg up, by the way, guys, for the supply. Alright, so we'll build here, since we'll get the most resources there. And you know what, we're going to tick these up above some of this stuff here, some of these military factories. And probably here next. And then there next. Yeah, I don't know if we can get much there. Yeah, not enough really to warrant just yet. And I don't think we're hurting on aluminum enough. It's really just steel, but this will get us aluminum too. Alright, so that's what we're going to work on, guys. Try and get our steel production up, so we don't have to trade for it, because yeah, as Germany, you should not have to trade for steel this early anyway. Not have enough military factories to really warrant that. Do we have any planes we can throw out there? We have enough for a closed air support air wing. Yeah, we're going to place that out there. And we can probably do fighters too. Why not? Alright, so let's just take a look at the situation here, how much space we have left. We might just start adding them down, or over here. Yeah, we're going to start adding them over here, I guess. And we'll need to move all the planes around, of course. What we could do is just start moving some of these over here now, because this is probably the next front we'd fight on. So let's just move them all over here. Okay, so they just capitulated. And then with this, let's go ahead and get maybe 1 more fighter duplicated here. And get them training up. And then maybe we'll move one of these guys on over to this front. Do we want to go in that one? We'll go in this one here. Get some close air support moving over there as well. And then we'll be able to have some space to duplicate close air support too. Alright, excellent. So get all those training. They'll get their fighters eventually here. There we go. Alright, I don't think there's any other ones really warranting. You could take the naval bombers, I suppose, and get those trained. I think it's fine as is. Also, I think our oil production is fine too. So let's go ahead and pull back. We don't need to be trading with the Romanians, period, actually. So let's go ahead and just pull back all trade with the Romanians and instead trade with somebody else. The Dutch East Indies, maybe? Yeah, that looks good. Change the fuel situation a little bit, but it's fine. So you see that the Chinese faction is just about done for, guys. Yunnan has taken over. They'll eventually become China again. We did get the Finnish membership. So next would be Baltic membership. So let's go ahead and get them into the faction. We did get that AA. So yeah, we just finished designing those those ships, and we'll have to design them again just to get the AA changed up. So I guess we'll do anti-tanks next. And we still need to get all those over there. Also, still need to get a lot of these too. But experience is lacking, so we just haven't been able to add them to the units just yet. And we need to get all this. Alright, so there's just so much stuff to get. Well, let's go and work on the improved infantry equipment. Get that nice passive bonus for when we go to war. Let's go ahead and change up the anti-air here. And then we want to change up our ship designs as well. We're already in there, so. The attack cruisers were literally just designed. Okay, so we'll only want to build one more of those. And then we'll just change these up now so that they'll get the better anti-air in there. Again, it's not really worth like stopping production there. We didn't get anything else, right? No. All right, so let's go ahead and, oops, we didn't do that right. We want to make them Bs. And then anti-air. Let's go and save that. And once I finish building that one ship, we'll get them changed up here. So that's done. Still building the last destroyer here. And yeah, there's no point on, we're only building one more of these, so no point on stopping that. Alright, so what all happened over here? Whole bunch of stuff happened over here. Alright, so Finland just accepted our invitation to join the faction, and unfortunately... Okay, so unfortunately the Soviet Union declared war on Lithuania. And so that has resulted in Lithuania joining the Anglo-Italian Pact. And we couldn't set them to go democratic or anything like that. So you know what? I think we're just going to abandon our efforts to get the Baltic countries in, guys. I feel like the Central European Alliance is large enough. If we go to war with a communist, go to war with the Comintern, then the Romanians will join our faction, guys. That will still happen. Same thing with Lithuania. They'll join our faction. But you know what? We're going to let that happen naturally. We're not going to work on this, guys. We just got it. It's just, there's no point. Because we won't get it done in time. They'll probably be conquered well before we get it done. When they declare war on Lithuania, they do Latvia and Estonia next, typically. So these countries are not difficult for the Soviets to defeat, so more than likely they'll annex them. So there's really no point on going for this, because they'll just get bypassed. Or those countries will become part of our faction naturally when we declare war with against the Soviet Union. So it's just no point on wasting, any time working on that right now, guys. Instead, we should go for something else. So we could do the shared R&D programs, and that would help us all with research, especially help all of our subjects out. And that would allow us to get these two here. This is a research bonus ahead of time, research bonus for the atomic research, so that's nice. And then whole technical know-how will allow us to produce a whole bunch of equipment slightly cheaper. So that would be nice as well. But there are a lot of other options to go for, guys, over on this side of things. So you got the West Wall, which will get those land forts on the French border. Kind of want to get that, guys. Just make sure the French can't push forward, because we don't have a lot of troops over there. So we don't want them pushing into our territory easily. Well, unless we did want them to. We could let them push into our territory really easily and then try and get them cut off. That'd always be an option. But it'd be a risky one, since the Soviets might send them troops, like lots of troops. Still need to get the Army Innovations too, so we can get those land doctrine research bonuses. So that'd be helpful. More dockyards is nice as well, because remember we're going down with the Plan Z. Don't really need these ones here. We've already befriended all of them. So that would basically let us finish this up. As far as the research bonuses, though, we don't really need those until 1944. So really, you're just getting 2 dockyards from this. So I don't know if that's the one we want to go for first, guys. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I think one of the other ones would be a little bit better. So let's go for the West Wall, so we can get the forts up along here. I think it'd be worth it. So Finland just joined the Central European Alliance, so if the Soviets declare war on them, which they very well might, then that will result in them joining, then that will result in us going to war against the Comintern. So this is the faction as of right now, the full extent of the faction until we go to war, and then that the mod starts pulling any democratic or non-aligned countries out of the British faction and put into ours, unless we're at war with the British faction, in which case that wouldn't happen. You can see everybody's now joining that Anglo-Italian Pact as well. So the Polish are now part of that pact, and they'll be communist and part of that pact. And then we have Unitary Canada, which has joined them as well. So that's fantastic. I'm glad that they joined. So that worked out nicely. We wanted the Canadians in that fascist faction. That'll also put the United States under threat. They'll feel like they're under threat, and they'll be more likely to join our faction, actually. But I do hope they stay neutral for a while, since they are kind of a game changer. We will not get the carrier close air support. I don't typically use those. They're helpful for naval invasions, but that's about it. And I'd prefer to just use land-based planes for that rather than getting techs. Even if it doesn't take very long, you still got to build them. We also need to get the next tactical bombers, but it's not really a priority, guys. Yeah, none of these are really a priority. And I don't think we're going to use strategic bombers all that heavy because there's so much stuff that we need, guys. So yeah, I don't think we're going to do any of these just yet. We're not even going to do the tactical bombers. There's a lot of other stuff I'd prefer to get first. So let's go and do that. So we could do this for the 4% research bonus. It does take a long time. I'd prefer to do it when we have a research bonus for it, though. Not close enough to 1941 for any of those techs. Yeah, we won't work on those. We do want to get the improved artillery and the anti-tanks and all that kind of good stuff. And there are more, there are more doctrines to get too. Because we only have research bonus for 2 of these, I believe. And so yeah, there's no reason not to get this one here. So we might go for that next. It does take a long time though. But I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go and get the next land doctrine. That'd be helpful. We're going to knock that out. Also, we need to update this equipment, don't we? To get the new close air support out there. Alright, so again, we're not going to trade for any of this steel, guys. We're trading for 2. We'll be a little bit short, but we are building the infrastructure up, so that's going to improve the situation here very soon. And we won't even need to trade for any more. In fact, we could probably pull back on some of our trade for... Yeah, so all of them are going to join, just as I expected. I don't think we ever would have got it done. You can see here we're 50 days away. I think they would have been capitulated way before. So yeah, we lost them. And so that's really the only ones we lost from me taking longer to go down the faction branch. I feel like losing the Baltic countries was fine. And I think we had something pop up. I don't know what it was. And there's Latvia. Alright, so yeah, we would have never got this focus done in time. So I'm glad I canceled that. It's been bypassed now as well because of that. So I think that means we can go down the next focus, right? Because all those have been either got or bypassed the strike at the source, but there's nothing even there. All right, so that just gives us a war goal against Soviets, completely unnecessary because we'll be at war with the Soviets in time. So we did get the new destroyers. Do we have all the stuff for them? I think so. That's just getting the stuff here for the submarines now. All right, well, let's go ahead and go down the doctrines now, guys. We're going to want to start researching those. Though we do have to switch over to a new doctrine because we're not going to do the trade interdiction. We could go with the fleet and being. Again, that is for capital ships, heavy cruisers, battleships, battle cruisers, all that kind of stuff. There are some carrier stuff here, so it's not that you're not going to get any carrier bonuses, but you're certainly going to get a lot less carrier bonuses than if you go with the base strike. The good ones for the submarines, though, yeah, some good stuff here with submarines. It's the traditional route, and I think it fits for Germany focusing on their fleets. Could go with the base strike, which is much better for the carriers overall. Also got that port strike bonus. But yeah, I don't think we have enough carriers to justify it, because we don't start with a single one. And yeah, there's a lot of destroyer bonuses. Yeah, just not as useful. You do have these submarine ones. I'm not sure how they compare to these ones. You'd have to actually look here how they compare, which route is actually better there. But you're just not going to get as many bonuses for the other capital ships. There's a few. Yeah, you can see there's a few here, but yeah, it's just not as good. So with us only having one carrier at the start of the war, I don't think we'll have that other one done in time. It just feels like fleet and being is better. So let's go over to that, guys. 204 days, and we get a bunch of bonuses here. We do give up some, though, because we're giving up this one here. But that's bonuses for light cruisers and submarines, really. So yeah, let's go for this one, guys. Switch that out, get it researched. We also have a new operative since we've gotten so many agents in here. And again, I'm going to go with the older woman here because she's a commando escape artist. She's a badass. I suppose you do have another commando down here. Oh, and he's also from Bulgaria. He's an infiltrator and a commando. He's pretty good too. We wouldn't want to deploy him against Bulgaria, obviously, because they're in our country, or excuse me, in our faction. So it's really escape artist or the infiltrator. I think we're going to get the infiltrator. Yeah, I was going to go for another older one. We'll go for Vladimir, the Bulgarian. Oh, and I never did do this mission here. Ah, good God. We had time to do that, guys, and I did not. So let's go and get their navy infiltrated. I never did, pay attention to this. So let's put Vladimir over there, our new guy, and somebody else that's probably one of these two. We'll put Emma here. Get that commencement ready. And then we're going to want to move some of these agents off to start working on the Soviets and maybe the Italians. Could do the French too. Let me see how close they are towards moving towards the Soviets. They're 41% on the communists. I think we're more likely to fight the Italians next. So yeah, let's just move one of these guys over, which I'm not sure which one just yet. Maybe this guy? Yeah, let's move him over there. Build an intel network against Moscow. And then with this character, he won't be over there long, but we'll put him over here in Italy for now. Oh, we already have, that's right, we have Granny in Italy. Okay. We'll move him over to Paris then. Our new guy. Yeah, we'll need another agent to steal their techs, though. Yeah, I forgot to do that last episode. We've been sitting at 100% here against the British Empire for some time, and I just forgot about it. That's a bummer. Could have been progressing on that a little bit more. Alright, well, it is what it is. Mistakes will be made. It happens, guys. So let's go and put this one into the blue tank army here. I'll let them train up. And that means they'll probably stop training here. They won't need to train anymore. And then just take one of these units here and get them moving over to... How are we doing on this army here? We'll place one more over here, guys. Yeah, that looks good. Although, you know what? Let me take... We're going to change this up. Alright, so we got the radar. Yeah, not 1941 yet, so we're not going to go for the next one. That would be the first 1941 tech I'd get anyways. If we wanted to work on 1941 techs, we'd want to get those going. Get some of the production techs. And I suppose we could do that. But why go ahead of time when there's so much other stuff that you need? We need those. Let's go and get the bonus for artillery, because we do have those everywhere. That would be useful. But yeah, I think what we're going to do is take that unit I just sent them and move them over to this front instead, and then take the mountain unit and send him over here. That'd be more useful, having him against the Italian front. Alright, and we're going to keep these guys here. Do we want to... We can deploy these. So let's go ahead and deploy them now. We got them building more than... Yeah, we can go ahead and stop that there. And what are we lacking? Just the guns. Yeah, it's just the guns right now. Alright, so we'll get a few more going here. How about the tank units? Yeah, we can get those going too. We're actually good on tanks for once. So we'll get a few more tank units here. And we can train it on the mountain units, so let's go ahead and do that. We might want to leave an opening here. How many can we get? Oops, we can get 2. Let's leave one open. We're gonna eventually want to transition over to some Marines. I'm sure we're gonna need some Marines, guys. I know we're fighting in several mountain areas, so having the mountain troops would be helpful, especially when we go into Spain. You know what? Let's get one more. Yeah, that makes sense. We got a lot of mountain areas we do have to fight in. Yeah, we'll get a couple more tank units here. And maybe some more of these infantry. And the problem, of course, is the artillery. We're really hurting on the artillery right now. So we're probably going to want to step up artillery production even more than we already have, because you can see that is what we're shortest on. Alright, so new factories will go towards that. Remember, we're building the infrastructure for the steel, so that's not a problem. We have one dockyard, and we'll put it into... that only speeds it up by 3 days, so we're not going to put it into the support cruisers right now. Instead, we're going to put it into... How are we doing on submarines? Okay, we got a decent number of submarines. We'll wait until we have the better submarines. We could use more convoys, though. Yeah, we do not have very many convoys, so we'll put it into convoys, guys. Let's go and get these assigned, so they get trained up there, and we'll take a look, see if that battleship is done training yet. It is, so we could be saving fuel here. Yeah, could save some fuel. Excellent. So we have 10 capital ships, guys. That's what we got. 1 carrier, 5 battleships, 4 heavy cruisers. Not a huge fleet, but I'm hoping with the help of our Air Force, our naval bombers, that we'll be able to defeat the Royal Navy. We'll have to see, guys. Remember, they'll have the help of the Italians. The Japanese, you would think, would be focusing on the Pacific front, but hard to say exactly. The British have had success here. Likely did a naval invasion of that port, so they helped. China's just about done for. Excellent. Because remember, once they're done, I'll feel comfortable going into the conflict. Been waiting to do it until that happened. Let's go and put another unit over here, because clearly this is going to be necessary, because we're going to have a new front opened up here. So we're going to need more troops to defend it. So we'll get them moving over to that army. And I did go over all the, yeah, we went over all the generals already. Let's go ahead and have these guys train, since we did make some adjustments to their division designs. We never got them training. Okay. So I get them all trained up, not a lot of experience needed, and it looks like that war has finally ended. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad it did. So they were all annexed. So the British Empire took 3 states. Is that all in Ireland? Yeah, so they took the 3 Irish states there. Australia took 9 states, which was just the rest of Australia. All the territory they didn't have that the other Australia had, because they had the 2 Australias. So that's done. India's done as well. They took over their states. Yeah, you see everybody was annexed. Free India, Australia, and India. And then, of course, all the Chinese. All the Chinese countries were annexed, with the exception of Communist China, since they're not part of that, which worked out very nicely. And so now you have a frontier that kind of really goes all through here. And I think the Japanese are already pushing forward against the Soviets. The Soviets don't have enough troops on this border. So they might have trouble with us because they have so many troops on the Eastern Front. There's also a small front right here from the India, here in Kashmir. All right, very, very interesting what's going on here, guys. So yeah, they have a massive front up over here, where I assume the British and the Italians are pumping divisions over to. That's why they haven't really pushed forward as fast as you would think they would normally do. In fact, the Romanians are pushing forward. They've gotten across the river and pushed forward some. So now the Comintern is in trouble, because you see that the Spanish here are also having difficulty. I thought they'd take Gibraltar real quick, but that has not happened. And the reason why they're having so much trouble is because we set them up to be quite powerful, but they don't have all their members yet. France is not in the faction, and that's a big part of their faction. And Portugal isn't in either. They are communist, but they're not in the faction yet. But yeah, they did conquer that territory there, so now they completely control the Straits of Gibraltar. The fascist faction does, the Anglo-Italian alliance. So that's big, guys. The fact that France hasn't joined yet, Portugal hasn't joined yet, and neither has Turkey. Interestingly enough, they created their own faction, the Anti-Bolshevik Accord. I thought we had set them to go into the communist faction. That's strange. Into the Soviet faction. Well, what will happen again is if they declare war on anybody, then they'll, as long as it's not the Comintern. But yeah, as long as they don't go to war with the Comintern and they go to war with anybody else, then they'll join the Comintern with the mod event. But that's another one of their countries that is supposed to be theirs. So the reason why the Comintern is struggling is because they haven't got all their members. Well, I think the fascists have all of their members now. I have to double check on that, but I think they do. We got the West Wall. That gives us the one of the political advisors here. We might want to change up our political advisors now. And then also give us those land forts. Let's see what we want to get next, because we knew we wanted that one. That does open up these two here. Yeah, you can't do either of those ones right now. They don't apply. This allows us to build the infrastructure. This would allow us to get these guys as subjects and to get more military factories, so super helpful. And I'm very tempted to do that, actually, to do that next. But we have to do the Army Innovations before we do. So I think that would be the next one, is the Army Innovations one. Could get the Dockyards and research bonus, but again, I think we can wait on that. This one's all helpful too, but yeah, I think the next one is clearly Army Innovations 2. So let's go to get that. Oh, and we have Dockyards. Oh, because we finished up the support cruisers. So let's go to get those building, the next ones. We gotta get them designed, of course, first, which we're gonna take these and then duplicate it. And get them, is that the one we're using for these? I think we're using the shield, since I do a lot of different things here. So I just want to take this and then see what adjustments we want to make here. Like the sonar, obviously, would be added instead of the fire control systems. And if we got anything else researched in the meantime, we'd want to change them up as well, though it looks like we got everything. Oh no, we haven't changed the radar yet. So we will want to get those attack cruisers and set them. Oh, they're already set to build one more. Okay, so we did that. We just haven't done the design yet. In fact, we might as well do that now. It makes more sense to take these guys and do the design right now. You save experience. We save 3 experience. And we'll see if there's anything else that needs to be updated. I don't think so, though. I think everything's good. So yeah, let's go ahead and save that. And you don't have to change the the B to a C because we've never built any of those yet. So now let's go ahead and take these guys, duplicate them, and get them changed, whatever needs to be changed, which again is going to be the sonar here. That will remain radar. All this is fine. All right, so this is the way the support cruiser is going to look. It's not going to have any torpedoes. I decided against putting torpedoes. We're just going to have both of these to kind of increase that light attack up to a decent amount. And most importantly, these guys are the anti-air unit. This is what we're really using them for. So we have the anti-air on there. I removed those guns because, again, the light attack is not what's important. That's what the attack cruisers do. So we gave them very high anti-air. And this is the most dual purpose we can have on here. There's no other dual purpose available except for, of course, these ones, which are just not as good. And then we have the the float planes on there to help out with the surface detection. Some depth charge attack. It doesn't need to have a high one. That's mainly what the destroyers do. We want them to have some ability though. And the reason why, of course, is because sometimes you have to take destroyers out, and because they just don't have the max range. And so you don't want your fleet having no ability to attack submarines because you took the destroyers out to increase the range. Because those destroyers have such low range, and they reduce the range of the entire fleet. And so often you have to remove the destroyers. And yeah, we just can't have them where they don't have any depth charge attack. So that's why the support cruisers have one depth charge. But really their job is anti-air, guys. That's what their job is. So yeah, no torpedo attack. And I think this looks good. That's a very good anti-air attack. That is solid. I like it. So let's go ahead and save that. And yeah, they'll be protecting the fleets from enemy planes. So let's go and put these dockyards into the support cruisers. And just make sure that they deploy to the port here. Alright, so we are good to go. Just waiting to get that attack cruiser built. What is this? Is this the attack cruiser? Most likely. Oh, we can pull the Greeks into the faction, which I wasn't sure if we were going to do that or not. This would result in us joining the war against the fascists first rather than against the communist. I think that's what we're going to do. So yeah, I said we would, and we want to make sure we do that before they get pulled into a different faction, by the way. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and send this off. We don't have to go into the war immediately. We need to get all these troops moved around. Although, really, I guess you don't, because we're already ready to attack Italy now. We have our units there. They're getting some experience or whatever, but we won't wait for that. Well, that means we know where the tanks are going to be needed, which will be down here, so we can try and get Italy defeated as quickly as possible. So let's go and move these guys over here now. And then another thing that we're going to need to consider, and remember, these tanks aren't going to do well in Italy, so it's really just to help us push the front and forward rapidly. They won't do well in that terrain, though. Do we want to move this guy over here? Nah, we still want to get them trained. But another thing to consider is the ports. We're going to need to defend our ports, because if we go to war with the Italians, you go to war with the British, and then you're facing naval invasions. And our fleet might not be enough, capable enough to, keep the British back. In fact, we probably won't even put them in the Eastern North Sea. It'd just be too risky. But we will fight here, and we'll put not all of our bombers, but a lot of our bombers here. So what we're going to want to do is defend the ports to make sure that we don't, get invaded here. But we don't really have any troops to do that task. So that's kind of a problem. We have to keep some over here. I suppose you could pull some from here, because we're not yet... Oh, wait a minute. No, Poland is in... Oh, that's interesting. Since Poland is in the Anglo-Italian Pact, we'll be able to push in here. All right. Yeah, that'll work out well for us. Now, all of our troops are really, really weak because of the fact that we're training them. So we might just want to go ahead and stop training them. They'll learn in battle. So let's get their organization back up. Oops, I thought I had another unit selected. So yeah, let's get their organization back up so that we can do an attack. So we'll be able to get control of some of Poland here now. All right, so that'll work out nicely. So just taking a look at the faction, seeing if there are any other fronts that I'm not aware of. That would result in them joining our pact as well. Well, it depends on whether or not they answered the call to arms. If they answered the call to arms before the event fires, so this could result in a weird situation where some of them end up on our faction and other ones don't. Is what it is. The same thing with Poland, because they're technically considered not aligned, so they might in fact end up joining our faction. And same thing with Romania. These guys could all join our faction. All of these here, because they're all non-aligned or democratic. It looks like they're actually all non-aligned. So yeah, any of them could end up joining our faction, or they could end up accepting the call to arms first before the event fires, in which case they would, remain at war with us. So we'll have to see what happens there. Let me see if there's anything else to be aware of over here. I don't think so. Oh, wait a minute. New Zealand. If they're another one, that if they got the event before the call to arms, or before they accepted the call to arms, they would also join our faction. Okay, so yeah, we'll just have to see what happens here. We accepted them, or we sent them a faction request. They're going to accept. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, they joined the Comintern. Damn it. So that didn't work. They accepted the Comintern's request before they accepted ours. That's a real bummer. They are pretty communist, though. They're 41.27%. Technically, they're more communist than they are democratic. We did have them go democratic. It's surprising that they're going communist. Greek socialism. Okay. Yeah, I guess they decided to go communist. I thought that they were set to go democratic. Well, never mind then. So we want to go ahead and put these guys back to training. I got all excited for nothing. I thought the war was starting. It is not. Not yet. Not yet, guys. So we do not need them to have a frontier, because we just don't know who we're going to war with first, whether it's going to be the Italians or whether it will be the Italians, or whether it's going to be the Comintern. France just joined the Comintern. Okay, so when we go to war with the Comintern, we'll also be at war with France. Finally, that happened. They desperately needed the assistance. That means the Italians are now going to have to fight on this border. Yeah, they really needed help there. So good thing that it happened for them. We need more units, though, guys. We need a lot more units. But we're just short on certain types of equipment. There's really no reason we can't build a few more, even with the artillery needs. So yeah, let's build more troops, guys. We need them. Definitely need them. Because yeah, we might very well be fighting both of these guys at the same time. We'll have to see. I'm sure that's going to happen eventually. But it might happen right early on. Because yeah, I just don't know who's going to attack who first. Now, I don't know if we have the ability to attack anybody yet. If we wanted to, let me just take a look. Because if we did, we would. No. Nah, we'd have a notification for that if we had a war goal. We have no war goals. We could form a war goal, though. Yeah, I'd prefer to just wait till they attack somebody. We'll give it a little bit more time. If they don't attack somebody, we'll just form a war goal. You can see the Italians are actually losing territory here. Yeah, they just don't have enough troops here. I bet they're on other fronts. So now things are going against the fascists. That's what they needed, was France. As I said, France was big. They really needed their assistance. All right, so we have the infrastructure and the military factories going. We have another radar level, so let's go ahead and make sure we get these ticked up. That'd be helpful. Maybe get one more synthetic refinery, because it might be difficult to get trade for some of the rubber countries once we no longer can get trade by convoy, since I'm sure the fascists will control the sea for some time until we can challenge that. And then I guess there's going to be more military factories. Could always do more dockyards too. Let me just take a look at where we're at. We have 31 dockyards. Let's do one more dockyard to get it up to 32. And then from there, we'll go ahead and do military factories. Could also build the forts. Could build some coastal forts to defend against the British. I suppose that would make sense here in the ports to get just a couple levels of coastal forts. Particularly right there. You know what, we'll have our fleet here. So you know what, let's not do here. Instead of doing it like that, we'll just build this up to level 5. And that way you only really have to protect one port. Let's do this one as well, though. So yeah, they'll get that built. And we'll just need to give them a division. One division to defend that. And with the level 5 level 5 coastal fort, that should be enough to defend against a British invasion, especially if we're bombing them at the same time. So 1941, we're not in a war yet, but the fascists and communists are fighting each other, while the Democratic Central European Alliance watches on in horror. Just waiting to see what's going to happen here, guys. Ah, damn, we're in January 1941, and we kind of have to end the episode, guys. Unfortunately, we'll go like 2 or 3 more minutes, guys. But yeah, I do need to end this here. I gotta go to the gym. So yeah, you're gonna have war here as well now, as the communists are able to push forward. So they're gonna have a 2-front conflict here in Asia, since they got the one up here against the Communist China and Soviet Union, and now they also have the one here in Indochina as the French are invading up. We do get that submarine tech, excellent. We need to get the snorkels. So we're going to want to set the submarines to only build one more. And just see if there's anything else we need to make adjustments to. We're already building one more destroyer. Once that's done, we'll start building newer destroyers. So we have a couple different choices here, guys. We're good on manpower for right now. Eventually we'll have to change our conscription up. We can also change away from the export focus. Now we have that nice research speed, but and the factory bonus, and we don't have to trade as much. But I think we're gonna wait a little bit till a little bit later to do that. When like steel starts becoming a problem, then maybe we'll consider changing up. Having the research speed and the factory dockyard output is just too helpful right now. So we don't want to change any of these up right now. So we have the Chief of Air Force or the Military High Command. So that's two of the choices, but a third choice would be to get rid of the liberal journalist. Daily democracy gains at 71%. It could be higher. I suppose we would like it higher, but we have other options for doing that. We could use our political power here for doing that. We could also improve worker condition too. Try and increase stability up a little bit. Yeah, we have other options to do that. You know, we can do like the anti-communist raids to reduce the support for communism. You could do just straight up ban communism, though that would cause our stability to be decreased as well. Or we could just do the Institute Press censorship, which would probably be the best way to do it, and slowly tick up the democratic support that way. So I think that's what we'll do, and go ahead and get rid of the liberal journalists, because we just don't need political power as much. Well, there are some good bonuses here to get, I believe. So let's just take a look, see what our choices are. If you really want to check democratic support up, you could get him, because he would do it a little bit faster, double the speed. Let's see what other options are. We always liked getting that operative there. The elusive gentleman, give me that extra operative. So that's nice, but I don't think we'll do that. This is an anti-fascist agent. So tick down, well, we don't have any fascist support, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, you get some stability from that, so that's always helpful. This will allow you to build the forts faster, as well as the anti-air. Yeah, I kind of feel like being able to build forts faster would be nice. But is it worth changing this out for just a fortification engineer? I don't think so. Not right now. Okay, so we won't change this up. I was thinking we would have somebody that was better, but we do not. None of these guys are that great right now. So we'll just keep it. We'll just keep them for now. So that does mean we want to change out one of these ones, and I think we're going to do the Air Force one, get the all-weather. Bad weather penalty reduction is always nice to have. So let's go to get that. All right. In fact, that is going to have to be the end of the episode, isn't it? Yeah, it's a shame. So we're not at war yet. I'm really surprised. I thought we would end this episode and we'd be at war, but that is not the case. We do have the level 3 forts here now, so it's going to make it a lot more difficult for the French to push forward here. We're likely going to have to fight the French across multiple borders. We'll have this entire border here, and then we're going to have this border here. So we need to get stronger on the French border now, because yeah, France has joined the Commonwealth. Just looking at what everybody's doing, see who might start this war with us, because as of right now, we still aren't able to get involved yet without doing the justified war goal. Although I wonder how long that would take. Like say we wanted to attack the fascist. 40 days. It wouldn't take that long. We don't have enough political power right now. Yeah, we could do it this way. I was preferring them to do it, where they attack us, so that it would be considered a defensive war. That's the key, guys. If you're wondering why I don't really want to attack them, it's because I want it to be a defensive war. We could have guaranteed somebody. That would have helped. But we didn't do that. Because again, I kind of thought we'd get people in our factions here. They might still attack somebody. Like if the Soviets attack Finland, then that would be a defensive war. But yeah, I'd really prefer a defensive conflict over an offensive one. So yeah, let's just see what everybody's working on. Air rearmament, naval rearmament, anti-capitalist diplomacy. I think that will result in them attacking down here, so what we could do is guarantee somebody down here. Yeah, that would be an option. Guarantee their independence with the 25 political power. You just have to do one of them. You could do like Iran. Guarantee their independence, and then if the Soviets attack down here, then that will result in them going in our faction, and it'll be a defensive war. That could be a good choice, guys. Yeah, we might do that. That's one way to try and get a defensive war. Let's see what other options there are for trying to get somebody to... We'll look at Spain, I guess. Yeah, supply enlargement. How about Japan? Japan might start it. Secure the Philippines. So if Japan attacks the Philippines, that'll bring the United States in, but the United States would likely join the Comintern in that case. Yeah, remember, they'll still get flipped back over to us eventually from that event. Huh. Maybe we should instead, can you guarantee a subject? I don't think you can. You might be able to guarantee a subject. Maybe we'll do it on them. Yeah, I think maybe we should use all our political power for guarantees now to try and force this conflict to happen so we can get involved here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Try doing some guarantees. Try and force the war. Because otherwise we're just waiting on Soviet Union to declare war on Finland. I think that's the only other way this could go down. Or the British attacking the Scandinavian countries, which I think they might have a focus for doing. But other than that, I guess there's the Low Countries. France or Britain could attack there. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how long that could take, guys. So I think it might just be best to use guarantees. So that's the plan, guys. I did record a bit longer than I wanted to today. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one. And thanks for watching.